have served in the U.S. Army, get this, since 1775. They tended to the wounded, washed and mended clothing, and cooked for male troops. But flying in the Air Force, that didn't happen until World War II. Reporter Nick Bradshaw has the story of women and their fight to serve.
In Sweetwater, Texas.
A story of courage and valor and ingenuity.
Is a spot that paved the way for women.
For me, equality is equal access.
Women Air Force Service pilots.
This is not a time for, women to be shy. They are our greatest weapon. We need to use them.
Started flying in 1943. Now they're on display at this museum.
This was the gate that was at the entrance to Aviation Enterprises to Avenger Field. It's where every woman would have to pass.
In the middle of World War II.
And so when World War II came, there was a shortage of male pilots. And it took a lot of convincing, but finally, Jacqueline Cochran and Nancy Love convinced them that women were up to the task. The program only lasted 2 years, but the impact was a lifetime.
The women would have to pay their own way to Texas.
When these women came out as pilots, it put them in the foreground.
On top of that, they would pay their own room and board. No insurance.
One of my favorite stories is of a WASP who was named Hazel Ying Lee, and she had to do an emergency landing in a farmer's field not too far from here. And when she landed in that field, she got out and walked around, and she was okay. And about that time, the farmer and his family rolled up in their car, and he looks at her and he says, Are you Japanese, or are you a China gal? She had to do some talking, but she convinced him that she was an American, a Chinese American who was at Avenger Field training, and that's where she belonged.
November 10th, 1944. She received military orders to head to Great Falls, Montana. Her plane collided with another after a control tower error. Lee was killed, but didn't receive a military funeral.
Because they weren't military. And so these ladies came on their own dime, and they came from all parts of the country.
These women were part of the greatest generation, an honor way overdue.
But no one should be discriminated against.
I'm Nick Bradshaw reporting.